Good morning, everybody. We have reached our final Thursday of Big Brother 27 as we continue to get closer and closer to this finale to finally crown a winner this season. I will say the feeds again were, per usual, the last few weeks, very mince heavy, whatever we're calling Morgan and Vince. I don't really have a ship name for them. But Morgan and Vince have been the feeds, and last night was definitely no different. We'll start a little bit with Ava and Ashley, and then we'll dive into Morgan's feelings for Vince. If Ava had any real self awareness or just awareness in general, she may have realized last night that Rachel was one of few people in the game that actually did have her back somewhat. She told Morgan and Vince that Rachel made a final two with her, but she didn't think it was real. And they told her Rachel never came to them with one of those. Now, that being said, I don't know. I don't really think that Ava was Rachel's real final two. Rachel did try to throw her under the bus the week that Keanu was HOH, and she didn't throw Ashley under the bus. But I think a lot of that has to do with Ava and Ashley's gameplay. Ashley has been an active player this entire game. She's always been trying to either keep herself safe, try and move some pieces in front of her, wanted shields in the game in front of her a lot of this season. And Ava did a lot of sleeping the first half of the game. So I do think when Rachel first made a final two with Ava, she meant it. But as the game played out, Ava was such a non-player. That's not exactly who you want to really be your final two. So I think a lot of that falls on Ava. A lot of Ava's faults and weaknesses and where she is at in the game now, when she might get cut at Final Four, is her own fault. She's always had a good social game, though. That's about the only positive thing I've said about her for weeks now, and it's still the only positive thing I can say about her. Ashley's in a tough position to make the end and win. I do like that she is still most likely to make Final Three with Morgan and Vince, because I do think she is the only person that maybe has a small shot at convincing Morgan to screw Vince at Final Two, but that's not a good path to winning either. Ashley against Morgan is likely a Morgan win, and it should be a Morgan win. And I say this as an Ashley fan. I think Morgan's game has just really become so dominant at the end here, and if she keeps a hold on Vince and he somehow wins Final Three and takes her to Final Two, all the props to Morgan, although there is some real feelings involved there. I didn't watch last night's episode because, as anyone that watches me a lot knows, I only watch Thursday episodes because I hate the poorly edited episodes in general. But I did see clips of Vince plastered on social media asking if Kelsey broke up with him since she was not a part of his messages from home. I think this gives credence to the assessment that he really wants to be with Morgan after the game, so he has someone to be with after the game. And if it's someone he can mooch money off of after the game, I think that's even better. But we all, or at least some of us, speculated the other day after the messages from home, Vince was feeling some kind of way not seeing Kelsey. I think he's realized more and more as these last few weeks have went on that he is not hearing from Kelsey. He apparently lied earlier this season saying that he and Kelsey discussed him flirting in the game to get ahead, but then Kelsey outside the game said that wasn't true. So Vince has to know deep down she's not happy with him, and I think that is why he's moving the way that he is here at the end game with Morgan. Now, over the past few days, Morgan has been giving mixed messages to Vince, in my opinion. On one end, she's questioning him a lot, which makes me think she doesn't see him as a potential mate. But on the other side, she has been trying to get him to keep his curly hair rather than straightening it because she thinks it looks better. Always Johns brought this up a few nights ago, and I believe the Big Brother Amazing Race video, but nonetheless, it's true though. She has been getting Vince to keep his curls more and more. And to me, I do see this as a potential sign that she is attracted to him with the curly hair. And to me, that is also the beginning stages of what a lot of women like to do. And this is Morgan trying to fix him the way she likes him. And then last night pretty much confirmed Morgan's feelings for Vince too. Now, I mean, she could still just be playing him, but then there's been some times when she's alone with the camera where she also fears that she could lose next to him in a final two, and she doesn't know how the jury will see her game, if they'll respect her game. She's worried how they'll see her game next to Ashley's if she takes Ashley, her game's next to Vince if she takes Vince. But all of that speculation when she's alone makes me think that when Morgan continues to tell Vince her feelings are not just game, she means it. And he's been wanting this reassurance from her a lot the past 2 days, but especially last night, Vince kept bringing it up. Is it just game when they talk in code about their feelings for each other? She said a lot last night that it's not just game. And I believe her. The two have been very close. And I've said a lot they have chemistry. And I think more than just chemistry, I do think they are feeling that connection with each other. Now, that could just be because they're stuck in this Big Brother house together and have been for so long. And that could easily change outside of the game. But where I see it right now is they both are needy with each other because they both do have feelings for each other. Plus, now the fact that Morgan and Vince, because of all the HOHs they have won, have now shared the HOH bed for like 2 weeks straight. I don't think there could be any more clearer signs that they are actually into each other. And this little soap opera has been the feeds for weeks, and they've been celebrating that they have had the HOH room for weeks too. And I know a lot of you in the comments, especially Ray, are sick of it, sick of them being in the HOH together, sick of this little cheat mance going on. But I know they look like terrible people, and that's not that far from the truth because of their situation. But I don't need my Big Brother players to be good people, at least with stuff like this. If you need completely cookie cutter players, that's Jeff Probst's Modern Survivor is for cookie cutter players, which I will be doing a live on in the next few hours later this early afternoon for anyone that wants to join, for anyone that watched Survivor last night. But as for the Big Brother feeds, Vince said he's going to remember Morgan for the rest of his life. And that is one of the most soap opera things I've ever heard. And that's why it does keep on giving to me. So either they do try to be together outside of the house if Morgan really does want it. If not, I do think Morgan is going to be the one that got away when it comes to Vince. Possibly the one that got away with all the money too. Lastly, Ashley, she talks too much. She at first was kind of waiting to talk to Vince too much until after this vote tonight, but she still has talked to Vince a lot about how she thinks he should take her to the end because he'll have a better chance against Ashley than against Morgan, because Morgan probably beats everyone. It's the same pitch that Ava's been doing with Vince for like a week now, if not longer. And of course, this information is going to get back to Morgan. So it did get back to Morgan that Ashley has been pitching that Vince should take Ashley to the end and not her. Ashley's mouth has always been her own biggest enemy this season. this is no different. But I still do think that Ava goes with Vince's vote. He said he was going to really tell Ava the truth at some point, but I haven't seen it. Maybe he has when I wasn't watching feeds, but I have not seen Vince be real with Ava because Vince can't be real with anyone. We discussed this the last 2 days, that Vince lying with unnecessary lies is probably why he's going to lose a jury vote. But if Ava does somehow survive tonight, she better hope that one part of the final HOH is who can eat food the loudest, because I see that the only way she has potential to win the final HOH. But as it stands, Vince likely cuts Ava tonight. There is still that possibility he cuts Ashley, though. But Morgan and Vince seem very locked in emotionally with their feelings, with their attraction for each other. Likely take the other to final two if one of them wins the final HOH. And with the track record of where the competitions have gone at the end game, odds are Morgan wins, but Vince is probably the only other person that can maybe beat her in the final HOH comp. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be doing a live sometime around 1 Eastern today where I'm going to talk about the Survivor premiere, but I also have a little bit of Big Brother tidbits I want to discuss, namely about some of the stuff Jimmy's been saying on social media where Kat and Riley might be concerned, where Zach might be concerned. You know, anytime I get a chance to at least drag these other players a little bit, I do want to do that. So join me if you can for the live later, but it will mostly be about Survivor.